In this video, we're going to discuss how to put your first bid together with Easiest estimating software. When you open Easiest to start a new bid, it will depend on what your settings are in the Tools menu and Option Preferences. In the Startup section, you have three choices: create a new bid, reopen a last used bid, or select a bid to open. In this case, we suggest you select a bid to open. Since on our user preferences we had selected bid to open, we have just opened Easiest up and it comes up with open bid. If it is a new bid, simply click on the new dialog box here, and the first thing you want to do in the case of a new bid is to save the bid out. You'll notice it says Untitled up here, and you could save it out by going to File, Save Bid As, and give it a code and a description and save the bid. This is what you would do in that situation. But since we have already got a bid we're working on, we're going to open up the bid we'll be using, and we're going to File. And while we're here, you'll notice that all your last bids, 9 of the last bids, are here, so you can jump around from bid to bid very easily. But this is the sample template bid that we'll be opening up for our example here. You may wish to use a job previously done in Easiest, simply typing items into the description and adding the various elements and going through the whole markup process to get a feel for how it works compared to a prior bid. Or you can take a small job and type in each one of the items manually and build it from scratch. The purpose here is just to give you a general feel for the estimating system. Eventually you'll build your data in what we call a price book, or modify one of our price books, which really does speed up the time. But for right now, we're just going to put a bid together. For this bid, we're going to use, in the tutorial, painting a bathroom. It's helpful for clarity, so the items don't all run together, that use what we call header records. We put 3 in here. We're going to put 1 more in here. We're going to insert a line, and we'll insert 1 more, and we right mouse click, select Insert Header with the left mouse button, and we usually just put a couple asterisks, 3 asterisks in there, and we're going to say make this clean up and reset fixtures. Once you've did several jobs, we're going to show you how you can set these up beforehand and have different types of jobs with the headers already in them, and just start with those for another job that's similar to this, the one that you're currently working on. For the sake of time, we have typed in some items for each area here and put a unit of measure. All of this is user definable, so you can put in whatever you want. The next thing we would do is go down and put the quantities for each column and the prices for each line item. You can price it based on material and labor, or if it's a subcontract, or you can simply put a unit cost in this column here. Here is how the data might look if you were typing this in. All quantities and values are arbitrarily picked out. They don't represent true cost. Also, all the cost in each column is unit cost, so much per whatever the unit might be, rather than in the case of material, how many gallons of paint, or how much visqueen you might use, or how many hours of labor. This is unit cost. We are able to do hours and material order quantities, but for the sake of this first start bid, we want to keep it as simple as possible. You could have simply put all cost in the unit cost column and not use material, labor, or subcontract columns. We've just put this in there to give you an idea that you can do whatever you want to do. If you were doing just unit cost, you could simply move the column over here and deal with this, and there would be no values in these over here. You could actually move this over here and not worry about the material or labor breakdowns, and you can hide those columns if you wish. We'll move these things back over. The concept here is to get started, you can just type items in, put quantities, put a unit of measure, and put in your cost in unit cost if you want. One of these lines we've got 2 hours, and we put the cost of labor at $12 an hour. So you can just do about anything you want in terms of your first bid. Next, we'll add some overhead and profit to the bid. You'll notice at the bottom right of the screen we have $469. And to add overhead and profit or any other cost, we click on the markups over on the left side. Here again, you can do any way you want. We have the raw cost, and you could put sales tax if that was actual material, and you can put labor burden if you wanted to. And then you can put overhead profit. You can change the descriptions of these things if you'd like. So we're just going to go ahead and put 8% in for tax, and we'll add a little, even though it's not actually, we'll add 40% for the labor burden. We'll go ahead down and put 10% overhead and 15% profit. Of course, you can do a what ifs, you can change things around on this screen, and then we have a bid total price of $726.88, and you'll notice that's reflected at the bottom of the screen here also. So that completes the adding the markup phase. We'll print out this, or actually preview, by clicking on the printer icon here, and we're just going to do a simple report. There's dozens of reports for you to choose from. We're going to preview it. And you'll see that we have each line item and the unit cost, our subtotal, our 10% overhead, 50% profit, and grand total of the job here. You can do proposal reports also. Since we haven't filled in the, I'll just kind of pass by it here. There is a section for each job that you can put in job address and basic information, customer's ID, who the estimator is, and various things that will be used in the proposal reports. You can also put in, if you're doing the work for a particular client and the job information is different. And there's other aspects of this we'll cover in other videos. You can also, in addition to previewing the report and printing it out, you can send it to a PDF file for emailing to someone. You can send it to a Word document or an HTML. So you can print each report out in a number of different ways. There is a lot more that you can do in the estimating system, but we wanted to get you a little running start on just getting an estimate done and printed out. Things like if you want to rearrange things, you can move the items up or down. You can rearrange columns. You can have different views. There's just an awful lot you can do. But for right now, we hope this will get you started on doing your first estimate.